Alright, chat. Let's continue. I've got one more for sure. And then, depending on how long this one takes me, I'll see if I'll do another couple. So we've got a diamond tank player. Sorry, I copied the wrong thing. There we go. King's Row, man, everyone loves King's Row, right? King's Row, everyone? Yes? Good. First game I'm submitting, console, low diamond, King's Row, okay. Been playing on and off since season 3, but only around season 20 did I get to diamond. Since then, I fluctuated around high plat, low diamond, but never past mid diamond 3300. Wondering what aspects of my game I should focus on to improve. My current goal is to break into Masters once. I would say my main issues are shield cooldown management and engagement tactics. Appreciate issues on shield cooldown management and engagement tactics. Thank you very much. Right. Thank you for stopping by, Rein. Oh, the Mercy I just reviewed, whose name I don't want to say because TOS. So we are looking at RJM 215. I'm guessing that's why you made your account, considering you said you've been playing since season 3. So we go Rein. I don't think you meant to say agent healing. In any case, you've got a lot of healing. Like, Anna Moira is probably the most amount of healing you can get right now. Maybe only second to Anna, no, Moira Bab. But Moira Bab is a lot more AoE. So more overall healing, but less individual healing. Whereas Anna's got the biggest individual healing output of the game. Like this, I like this position again. I usually say it. Are we going? Yeah. I usually say it, but this is a really good position to hold. You hold the corner, which is really good. We didn't throw a fire strike. Oh, did we throw a fire strike at the door? You did. You hit one. Good job. So slower. Fire strike again. Fire with it. You don't hit anyone, but happens. It will bubble. You're playing very defensive. Like, your Zarya is going forward. So I would be pushing forward with the Zarya. Even though I don't think it's ideal, if you let them make this whole rotation, then you are at a loss. Because if they get you here, then they get a free shot on your team. You can only shield this. So you should be pushing forward with your Zarya, so that your shield blocks all of the damage coming out, and you can contest this, rather than just contesting this and letting them get through here, right? Because if their Hanzo on the rush gets like here or here for free, then they just get free shots. So while this is a good starting positioning, you are not moving from your starting positioning. Like, you're playing very carefully. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna stand here until they run into me. Whereas the Roadhog is already playing here and... Good. I don't think... Did you block the hook? I see it from a third person perspective. I want to say good reaction, but I think you were just slightly too late to block the hook. Also, there's... that's your Fist. Yeah, he just missed. And again, you are not committing to either. You should commit to something. You either commit to defending this and you push forward when they try to make this rotation, or you commit to defending this and you push this way, even though the ass is shooting main. What you're doing right now is you are just waiting for them to come at you. And by just waiting for them to come at you, you are letting them take free rotations. Forward. Yeah, your Zarya's got it. Your Zarya's pushing forward. We got the Zarya. That's good. That's resting. Again, if you were playing more aggro, you could prevent this rest just by standing here. You threaten the rest. If you try to go for the rest, you push forward this area. You're just playing extremely defensive, which I get is a concept. But also it's very difficult for you to play concept nowadays because there's just so much long range damage that if you let them get to a safe place, like If their Hanzo gets here, if their Ash gets here, right? Yeah, your Doom can contest them, but it's only like they've got a better position, they got a mini. It's difficult, and you're basically leaving your DPS to a 1v1. And if they lose the 1v1, you guys just basically lose the point. And the attackers get to keep trying over and over and over. Right, I didn't tell you I was starting with this. Let's just pause for a second so I can ping you in Discord. Um, Alright, let's keep going. Now that I've actually pinged you in my Discord to let you know that I'm doing your review. Okay. Your shit is half because you've just been playing so defensive. You're basically not preventing them from making any rotations, which is really bad. And your DPS are trying, but and your side got hooked. So it's very difficult to just stand here and do nothing. You're playing too defensive. You're basically playing blue square man. I like this. You're finally going aggro. Look at the front line. I know that Mercy is tempting, but they've got a lot of damage on the front line. If anything, your Zarya can try to get the Mercy. You shouldn't be looking away from the front line. That's unlucky. Your Mora just died. She was in the open. Where did your Mora die? Right in the corner. Wait, oh, she got short with Hotel. That's definitely not your fault. That's just very unfortunate. And again, don't look away from the front line. Flanking Hanzo got your entire team. And that's not entirely your fault, but you did him a lot of time and space to make the rotation. You basically playing here means the Hanzo can just go here for free. The Rush can just go here for free, right? There's nothing threatening them. The only reason they couldn't push any faster is because they didn't have a shield. If they have a Rein or a Sigma shield here and just buy 2 seconds, they got 3 rotations. You are not pushing into them. You're basically letting them play into you for no reason. Like, the fact that your Shares got grabbed before you got Shatter should speak volumes of how defensive you're playing. Your Zarya should not have gotten grabbed before you. No matter how much damage you did. No, I mean, no matter how much damage she did, you should not have taken 2 whole minutes to build a single Shatter. This speaks volumes of how defensive you're playing. It's too defensive. No reason to, like, why are you... Just wait for them. This is the opposite situation, right? Why are you holding your shield out in the open? You cannot push right now, because they got damage and they got everyone alive. So you cannot push right now, but you are still poking for some reason, even though all it's doing is costing you shield. You're not gonna kill anyone, and you're letting the Ashe shoot at your team for free, because if you are moving forward, your team has to move forward to support you. Right? So I guess I should explain really quick the idea of why you hold a corner. So the reason you hold a corner is it basically makes this whole space safe for your team. Because if they want to push at your team and your team is playing behind you, they've got to break this line of sight, right? To shoot at your team or to shoot at you even if you're just playing here. Whereas if you're playing here, your team needs to be behind you to heal you, because if you push forward, right, your team has to expose themselves. They got to go out of this cover. So the reason standing here is bad is because you're basically losing your shield for no reason. The reason pushing forward is bad is because you are basically you are forcing your team to expose themselves. You are going forward without your team, and because you don't have a Lucio or you just never chase them out. It's not like you want to fight. If you want to fight, if you just hold here, win the fight, then go for the move forward, that's good, because you can now hold on this choke and your team can make it here safely. But because you lost the fight, instead of playing here, you're pushing forward. So the next corner would be this, but you're basically letting their Ashe on their hands, so just Your Hanzo, by the way. Just shoot at your team for free by moving forward, super forward. Like, what are you shielding? What's this shield gonna protect? Zarya's not gonna shoot at your team. Like, her beam doesn't reach that far, and if anything, she can lob right clicks on top of your head anyway. Ana is not gonna do a lot of damage, and the Rush just gets shots for free on their team anyway. So why? Your team cannot come this far forward. Because they've got the threat of the Ashe, they've got the threat of the Hanzo, who by the way is still on your backline. Not your fault, but I'm surprised he hasn't been chased out. The reason you probably feel like you're playing alone right now is because your team cannot comfortably make this rotation. Because there was an Ashe here right now. She dropped. She's now shooting main. Not something she should have done. She should have stayed here. It was a really good position. Now your team can technically make this rotation because the Ashe is no longer here. But when you did it, they couldn't. And now right now, you're basically engaging by yourself. Because you made the rotation when your team couldn't. We use Bob, but again, Hanzo just kills someone for free. Once the Doom try to chase him off, again, this is the problem with you not being aggressive. You're basically letting your DPS take the 1v1s, and they're not always gonna win. No. Dead. Don't do this. Don't do this. You basically put yourself away from your team on purpose. So if they chose to push now, people would die. They got nowhere to go. And half of your team is dead anyway, but you know. And again, the Orianna only died because she was playing in the open because we were playing so far forward. The Ashe just took the high ground and killed her. You see what I mean? It's very bad. They could not make the rotation safely, and when you were playing here, they were forced to expose themselves to try to keep you up, then they just died. And now there's a Bob in your backline. And you're chasing a Hanzo who you kill, but look at your team. Like, lose the Ana, lose the Doomfist, so you're already down one. Your team is not with you, like you abandoned your Ashe and she's probably dead. Yeah. And your Mora survived, but now you only got 3 people. And the Rocket God's Nano, he's gonna hold your face. Why? Like, this fight is so lost. Why do we shudder? Because you think you can get 2 people? 3 people? Whatever amount of people you get? Even if you get a big shudder, how are you going to follow it up? You cannot kill 6 people. Especially not a Rothog, which is all thing in your face. Why are we using Trav as well? So, should not have you shuddered, that's on you. Should not have you crashed, that's on your Zarya. Your Zarya very dumb. Why did we just Dragon? Oh no, they just swapped to Hanzo from Ashe, okay. That makes sense. Bad shudder, like extremely bad shudder. You are gonna say, we got 4 people, it's a good shudder. No, bad shudder. You cannot follow up on this shudder by yourself, and you only had like 2 other people with you, and they had 6 people. So it's gonna be very difficult to follow up on a shudder like that. In some situations, it may work. In some situations, maybe they've got 6 people and you got 4 people, right? But one of those people is a Reaper who can go in and press Q. One of those people is a Soldier who, if everyone is on the ground, can just clean up. One of those people is an Ashe who can throw a dynamite and burn them all to death. The problem is, you have no follow-up. You've got to consider, well, I can get a big shudder, yes. Do I have the follow-up? Will I actually do anything? No. In this case, at least no. In some other cases, maybe yes. Like maybe if your Ashe / Hanzo was with you, maybe you hadn't abandoned them to their death, then maybe yeah. Now you go Monkey. This is weird. Monkey's not good on King's Row second. I will definitely say that. The reason is Monkey really wants to get in Duke to leave and get out, or get in on the backline, kill someone, and get out. But if you don't have a good place to get in from on King's Row, and you don't have a good place to get out to either, he can win on third, but it's still very difficult. Like, I like this, you are taking the high ground at the very least, but you are exposed here. This is not a safe position to take. They got an Ashe, they can shoot you, and the fact that you are two things wrong here. First, why are you using your bubble? You are on the high ground, where it is quote-unquote the safest you are going to be, right? Because if you have to drop on top of them, that's even less safe, but you've got to do it if you're gonna play monkey. So you're using your bubble way too early. Also, we are stacking bubbles with your Zarya, so we should definitely also not do this. And she bubbled you first, so you should not be dropping your bubble, and because you got the bubble, you should be dropping. You also got nano, so even more reason to drop. You should drop. No, just drop. I think you're just waiting for your leave, and I don't know why you use your bubble. But the best course of action is just drop on them. Just drop on the Hanzo and the Ana, kill them both, and then you can either leap away, which is the quote-unquote best idea. Like, the way you engage this fight is you leap to the high ground, you play safe for a second. When you get your Zarya bubble, you drop on the Ashe and the Hanzo and the Ana. You kill them. Maybe Hanzo runs away. You drop, you put your bubble so that their team cannot help them. They run away. You play shield dance. You kill them both. You leap out. If you get none in the middle instead of leaping out, maybe you leap and chase someone. But I'll just say you did several things wrong here. You use your bubble early, which is rough. Using your bubble early means you're gonna have a hard time dropping. You left to engage, which is bad because you are gonna need it to disengage at some point. And you got nano, but you are chasing a Ashe very far away instead of going for the easy Ana and the Hanzo. So I see several mistakes, and now you leap to engage again. You kill the Ana, which is good, but I will say on the positive side, at least your team is supporting you. Also, it's hard to have an Ashe because she's got Kochan, but yeah. Like this though, it's a decent position, like they got to push into you. Now they got to run, by the way. I do like this. Like, this is probably the best position you can get for monkey on the entire map. You drop, you contest, you leap back to your team or back to the high ground, depending on what's safer. Why did you drop? I was just praising it. I was literally just praising it. I was literally like, hey, I really like this. This is a great position to be in. Because if they go, you can drop on top of them. And you just dropped. This is bad. For several reasons. First, if you drop here, you are so far away from your team that they cannot help you. It's gonna be a lot easier for your team to help you if they're here. The second one is, what if they just choose to go this way? You can't drop here and you would have to use 2 leaps to get back to this high ground. In fact, they're gonna go this way because they are chasing your Doomfist. And you get no value from being there. See what I mean? This is why this is good and this is bad. They can just literally avoid you. If the payload was here, then maybe yes. But again, if they do this, they just force you out and you are in a bad place. Meteor strike. Your Doomfist has to meet your strike to get out. Are they still going main? No, they are just killing your Doomfist, okay. And you drop on the Ashe, but Ashe can just coach can you away, yeah. So, no value here. And you've got to leap back to the high ground. Honestly, leap back to your team instead. You are getting no value here and your team needs it. Never mind, your team doesn't need you, your hands will just kill 2 of them. This is hilarious. Oh, the battle mercy! By the way, this is all because you're not with your team. Oh my god, that Mercy just carried that fight. I wanna go back and watch it from their point of view. Dragon, try to keep people alive. They cannot. So they go like, okay, I'm gonna rest the Ana. Ana's in a safe place. Ana's been rest. I hate this Hanzo. I'm gonna kill this Hanzo. He's not gonna shoot me because A, we are in console. B, he's a hitscan. He's not a hitscan, I mean. And C, I'm just very close. Then they go like, what do I do next? Well, there are not very people on the front line. So I'm just gonna take things into my own hands. This Sarah is not gonna kill me. So I'm just gonna kill her instead. And all of this could have been avoided if you were on the front line, because you could have left to prevent the rest. Just that easy. When with Dragon, you just jump at them and chase them out, kill the Mercy, make sure that you camp the rest. You kill the Rein, but you're not gonna survive this. And the very least you should not survive this. Even with the Nano, I mean, maybe you can, I guess, I will give you this. Maybe you can Primal and stall until your team gets back. But your team's got a long way to go, and their team has got a long way to go to come back. So I don't know, honestly. You're gonna kill Serana. You helped, of course. You go for the Mercy, which I'm fine with. Again, you've got to go Primal here at some point. Again, you didn't prevent the rest from happening. Well, the Broco is dead, so it's probably a 1-5, which is good for us. I'm gonna say this. Leap, Bubble, Engage is only good because you got Primal. It's usually really bad because you basically got no escape after doing that. But instead you just lose the Ash, yeah, you take a long time to find that. Fight this one anyway. Take the high ground again, like best position you can take. I still dislike this, like this is a lot better. But you know what, at the very least, if you are scouting from here, you can rotate back easier. You don't have to use the leap. At this point I would go, okay, I'll just go back. Okay, I like it, I like it. I like it. Why are you going forward again? Just drop. I'm okay with you trying to cleave a little bit extra there. It's not ideal though, like you want to drop when they're engaging, not before. And by the way, they've gone full anti-monkey. So I would draw, but now, yeah. There's a Mercy right below you, so I would just drop and try to get the Mercy. She's right there. You missed the Mercy. Bubble the Rein. You didn't have to bubble him, but it's usually a good idea to bubble him. It prevents them from healing Rein. It prevents their team from helping the Rein. So just good custom, bubble the Rein. Wasted leap, it's fine, but you know, you don't need it. See that back on the high ground? I like it, I like it. Again, I like it. You should have dodged the fire strike, of course, but I like it. You get stuffed up, which is good. Cleave is fine. Hanzo just helps you clean up the kill. You wouldn't have gotten the kill without the Hanzo. You have McCree on the high ground, so you drop. Don't. Why did you use the bubble? Again, why is the... I think you just panicked and pressed the bubble button. Just drop. Drop, put your bubble down. Your bubble's not helping you on the ground now, because you used it on the high ground. But it would be if you had put it down on the low. Still a 1-5 though. Looks like this is a short one. Kinda. So the too long don't read right now is that your Rein mechanics are probably worse than your monkey mechanics. Your monkey mechanics are solid. I like that you finally decided to drop from the high ground I was telling you, but it took you a long time and you still scout. Like when you were playing here, it was pretty bad. When you were just scouting from here and rotating back, that's a lot better because even saving you this match is a lot of time wasted. Also, you can scout from this location because you can see if they go this way. Whereas if you're playing here, you cannot see if they're going that way. In case, good Good defense, very solid defense overall.
Switching sides. Initiating.
You gonna play Rein on the attack? Let's look at that. Why are we on the high ground? Were you trying to get someone to come by and do the final charge of the high ground thing? That's actually really bad because you end up being alone in the middle of the enemy team. I know it looks funny, but it's not actually effective. Good fire strike. I like this. You get the bubble, so you go aggressive. Okay, we are holding shield in the corner. Keep in mind, you've got to go... I was gonna say you've got to go aggressive on this one, but you've got a Hanzo, so you can take an extra second or two to give your Hanzo time to make a flank. The opposite of what I said on defense is true here. If you give your DPS time to set up, they will get more value. So you should be giving your DPS time to set up. Instead, you go in, you get stunned, which is honestly good for you, so you don't go too far forward. You take another corner. Your DPS are kind of just standing on the ground. I'm looking for you. Oh, your Doom is setting up still. So yeah, just give your DPS time. Give your team time to set up. If you take space, right? You took this space. You held this space. They couldn't push into you. So that was good. You took all of this space with the Zarya help and the bubble and just damage. Now you're going forward before your team is finished setting up for this space. So basically, you are going down one people fewer. Just 1 second of difference is all you need. Your shield's already broken because you basically expose yourself. Just play with the corner again. Even if you're playing here, just play with the corner. There's no reason, like, you've got low health, you've got low shield, why are you exposing yourself? Now you're literally separated from your team. You charge, but... I mean, you are okay, but your Doomfist died because you went into the wrong time. And you basically... it may not be a lost team fight, but you're definitely at a disadvantage. You lost one player, right? You get stunned and you die. And again, stop playing in the open. Play with corners. So you basically started really good, like up to what you took here. And I want to say my first instinct is, yeah, go aggressive a little bit. But even if you want to defend this corner, like this, why did you go all the way here? Just stay here. Give your DPS time to set up. Give your DPS time to go. What you ended up doing was, oh fuck, I'm fucked. I need to get out. And your DPS just died because they had no support. Because everyone was both looking at you. Everyone in your team, like your supports were looking at you. And you were not distracting the enemy team as they just fought away. You just ran away. Regroup. I'm fine with you fire striking here. You get some ult charge, so I'm fine with this. We should be pushing forward. I'm not as fine with that fire strike. You just threw it into the statue. The first one you threw it into a group of 3 people. This one, hitting a single person with a fire strike is difficult. Imagine if you had it now, you could just throw it this way. Look at this, you could have thrown it this way. You've got to wait, your shield lost at 500 health because you are just standing in choke. You lose a lot of health because you're just standing in choke. Like this, you push past the corner. Just remember, it's difficult for you to be healed if you got a shield in the way. But we got Ko, so we push. We get Ko, we push. They had no we shield. Don't jump, by the way. Don't jump like ever when we are holding shit with Rein. Just a bad idea. Your shield gets broken and you die. Can't play the corner. Why did you expose yourself like this? If you need to push, push this way. If you need to shield, just stay here. If you are playing here, Hainun is obviously going to break your shield. So your shield is broken, you are standing in the open, and they just melt you really fast because they got a Hanzo and the McCree, and the Sigma, and the Zarya. They grab dragons, we lose the fight. You have been losing every fight, by the way. I usually say it's not your fault that we lose this fight, but the main tank position is different. If you are the main tank, you've got a lot of responsibilities to keep the team together. And it's difficult for you to win fights, but it's very easy for you to lose fights. So your contribution, like let's say that the standard is a 50% chance to win any team fight, your contribution can probably make it as far as a 70. There's no way you can guarantee a 100% chance to win no matter what you do, right? But you can take it as low as a 0% for your team, maybe 5% for your team. I don't think there's anything like a true 0% until your team's dead. But you are one of the reasons that your team is not getting any value out of this. Because what you're doing is you're basically just feeding. By not playing in the corner, you are overextending. Your shield breaks, you take a lot of damage, you get stunned, and you die. And I want to point out, they had 6 souls because you basically fed them 2000 HP of actual HP. And your team had 1, 2... Of course, we had supports because, again, we fed them like 2000 HP. But we haven't done enough damage. Like, Hanzo had dragons, but that's about it. What I'm saying is, you are overextending past where it's safe. Like, if this is safe, this is not safe. Like, this is good, this is not good. This is good, this is not good. You need to play with cover when you're playing on Rein. I'm gonna guess you just get a big shatter and that's how we win, and we get a big grab. The way you're playing right now, I cannot imagine another way of winning the first point. Now we've got an old advantage because they invested too heavily into it. Like, when they used this, they still pop these 2 anyway, so they way over-invested. And again, you missed the fire strike, that's okay. But the Zarya bubble saved you a lot of damage there. But the fact that you don't have the Zarya bubble now is unfair. You block the flashbang, that's pretty good. But why? There is 2 things you've got to watch out for when you're looking to shatter a not Rein comp. Zarya bubbles and Sigma shield. Those are the only things you actually need to look out for when you're not playing against the Rein. Everything else you can play around very easily. Orisa shield, you just walk past it. Monkey bubble, you break it, or you wait for your team to break it if you have to. Ball cannot do anything. Diva cannot do anything. There's 2 things you need to wait out. Zarya bubbles and Sigma shield. And it gets blocked by a Zarya bubble. So, Zarya bubbles have an 8 to 10 second cooldown. And they have very long cooldowns. The Sigma shield gives you a window of opportunity of about 1 second. So this is the window of opportunity that you've got to take, right? When the Sigma shield is done. But this is a window of opportunity you can wait for. You can wait for it. You can wait for the Zarya to use her bubbles before shattering. Because it's such a long cooldown. Yeah, you're not gonna block the... You're not gonna wait until the Sigma shield is broken every time. That makes no sense. But you can wait until the Zarya shield... the Zarya bubbles are gone. So you did basically just waste your shatter, is what I'm saying. Because you shatter literally into a bubble Zarya in front of you. Again, you're playing so far in the open that you are just taking a ton of damage instead of playing safe in cover. You back out into cover at least, which is good. I think if this is just a chaotic fight right now. I think if you win this fight, which you may not, it's because one of your teammates is gonna pop off. Probably like that. Yeah, that's a really good one. Like now that they got no Sigma and they still got Moira, but you killed the Mercy, which is good. You probably got this. They got no point pressure anymore. Yeah. So yeah, it was your Doomfist and your Zarya that really killed a lot of people that fight. That's a great pick from your hand, sir. Why are you calling off payload? You should be here at the very least. I'm gonna explain this really quick, but if you stand here and shield here, even if they push into you, they're probably like if your team is with you, They're not gonna break this. However, you get to first you probably get to do damage for free, right? And secondly, you get to move the payload for free because you holding here means that they cannot push past you to stop the payload. So the payload is going to move here anyway. Now, this is the very shortest one you should take. I would honestly recommend just holding all the way here. With the team, of course. Why? Well, they cannot push past you. Right? If your team is with you here, they cannot push past you. And the payload just gets all of this free distance anyway. So instead of just standing on the payload and maybe getting it here until the recontest, if you hold here, the payload gets to do this for free, even with one person on it. Because one person is 100%, two people is 115, and three people is 130, I believe, and it doesn't go higher than 130. So the payload doesn't go 3 times as fast, it goes 30% faster. So let's say that you are with the payload until they recontest. If you are with the payload until the recontest, instead of moving this, the payload, hold on, instead of moving like this, the payload may move like this, maybe 30% further, but if you're holding here, the payload moves here for free anyway, because you are holding this, they cannot push into you. If you are holding here, the payload gets to move all of this for free, because you are holding here. If they try to push you, you can always back out to the next corner if you think it's too dangerous. I hope that makes sense, but basically, instead of giving the payload a 15% movement boost, because it's you, and maybe getting it this far forward, if you hold here, it gets to do all of this for free as well. You're finally moving forward, I like it. Yeah, I'm fine with this. I do have the feeling if you had started with whenever the payload unlocked, you could have gotten your team here. In either case, I'm okay with you holding this for forward anyway. Like, look how close the payload is when the engagement finally happens. I think that you could have held here. And gotten this for free as well. Because the payload is already here by the time you are finally engaging on this point. Remember, you got a Sigma shield behind you, so you have no healing right now. Now that's in front of you, you can play safe for healing, good fire strike. They grab, so we just hold shield. They grab dragon, so we just lose, die, and go again. And we got 3 ults, almost 4 for next fight anyway. So we got nothing against grab dragons, we got no buff, we got no trance, we got no beat. We just die to it. We just die on wipe and reset. I'm okay with this. You're trying to push forward. Again, I don't know where you're jumping. You're basically not... I don't know if you know how shield jumping works, but it's basically jump and shield in the air so that you do move faster, but you're basically just holding your shield and jumping for no reason. There's no reason for you to jump if you already got your shield out. Block it. Block it with the shield. Two things. First, you blocked late. Your Moira is not playing with you, but that's unfortunate. Secondly, this happens because you made the rotation far away from your team. Go this way. You want to get as close as possible without letting them shoot your shield. If you go this way, your team will follow you, and they will be inside, and the high noon will do nothing. You got no support, so the fight is lost. I would just have honestly died. Honestly, if you got no support, just go forward and die. It's better to regroup that way than stagger yourself an extra 10 seconds. It makes sense for the Zarya to want to run away, because if she's got charge, then Zarya wants to stay alive for the charge. But instead, you should know. You should just go forward, and with you going forward, then they focus on you, they kill you, and maybe you help your Zarya get away. How do we push this, by the way? So this is bad because they got a lot of spam damage, right? 1, 2, 3 spam damage heroes with Mercy Poker. What do you do? Well, you can take the high ground. Again, if you take the high ground, or even like if you want to take this rotation, or this rotation, maybe go all the way around this way, or maybe just come at it this way. In either case, you want to minimize the amount of time they can shoot at you for. Why? Because you want to conserve resources. If you go this way, they just shoot you and your shield loses health and you lose health and your team has to use resources to heal you. So there's like no great reason to go this way. Because again, we don't have to go this way. The payload is already here. You can just come either to the high ground, and drop straight on top of the payload and behind them. You can go around and maybe come through the mega. Try to get them that way. Honestly, I would recommend going through the high ground. You can also just come this way. Or this way. But this is a much shorter distance for you than what you are trying to make. And you're a main tank. This is why I say that main tanks are so important. Teams follow main tanks. Just because you've got a big shield and a big presence. Instead, Yorana's playing in the open because she's following you, main. She dies. That's not on Yorana, by the way, but it is on Yorana. Of course, she stood in the open. But she would not be standing in the open if she wasn't forced to do this, because you are basically playing this. Could she have gone? Yeah, maybe she could have gone all the way here and prevented dying, but it's such a long rotation, and supports are aware that if they just leave you be, you will probably just die if you engage too early. I like that you're at least waiting for them, but there's no reason for you to be doing this. Like, why do we want to run into this choke? Think about it. Why is it that you want to do this instead of just this? There is no reason for you to do it. Your team doesn't have more spam. We have bigs. So if anything, we just benefit from creating chaos, not just taking a million damage. We have a Hanzo, but a single Hanzo is not better than, well, Hanzo, Mercy Pocket, Sigma, McCree, even Zarya does a lot of damage to shields. They just dragon us, we just wait for it. Good wait. You can look for a shatter again. Two things you look for. The Sigma shield, you can, I don't want to say discard it, but you can play around it. The Zarya waffles, you want to wait those out. This is a good shatter. Like, two reasons. First one, the Zarya is behind people, so she cannot block them with their own bubble. Secondly, the Sigma is not shielding. Don't just aim at the Zarya though. At the Moira. At the Hanzo. Again, Zarya is the one target you really have a difficult time shattering, because so long as she's got her own bubble, you will have a hard time shattering her. Push forward with your Doomfist. This is probably a one fight. Your hands will just kill 3 people. And this is clean up. Okay, good. Again, move forward. Why are you doing this? If you move all the way here, first, this Mercy is dead. Or she gets away. Secondly, they've got to invest resources. If they want to push you away, if you are holding this, imagine having a Rein here. Just holding this. If they, like, ideally with your team behind you, right? Everyone in your team, but maybe the Hanzo who can shoot long range anyway. Everyone in your team just standing here. If they want to push at you, they've got to invest a lot of resources. They've got to kill all of you to even get to the payload to begin with. So hold here. It gives the payload room for free. And honestly, it just gives you the win for free at this point. You hold here. If they use a lot of resources, if maybe they use an ult or something like that, and you're like, you know what, I want to back out, you just back out. Or you commit and you start using ultimates to hold them here. But the reason is, if you create a fight here, even if you're at a disadvantage, the payload just moves for free. Holding here means you get the point for free. And they've got to commit as well. So they're probably, you're gonna hold here and they're gonna be like, okay, someone's got to touch. So let's send, I don't know who the fuck would touch in this situation. Let's send the Hanzo to touch. Sigma cannot go because Sigma cannot just run into you. If Sigma gets this close to you, you just kill him. So it's gonna be like, well, fuck. Let's send the McCree to try to touch. Let's send the Hanzo to try to touch with the high ground. So now we got a 5v5. And Hanzo is literally out of the fight because he's just running to touch. And they cannot push past you. If your Hanzo is in line of sight, you basically get a 6, or at the very least a 5.5. Because he's not actually with you, but he's still getting value. V5, you can hold here. You can use an ult if you want to. Just hold them here and win the fight, win the game. There is no reason for you to be holding here. You're literally telling them, hey, you get one more fight. If you were here instead, they would be fucked. They would be like, okay, I'm just gonna have to grab, I'm gonna have to flex, I'm gonna have to do something to push past the Rein. Instead, you're like, okay, you get one more actual fight. They're gonna touch. Look at that. Moira, by the way, touched way too early. She's probably gonna die for it too. But again, like, yeah, Moira dies, so that's on her. But they get an actual good flex because you are holding on the point. Your Hanzo dies. Your Doomfist killed someone, but they've got grab and they are getting rest. So the Moira's alive now. They've got healing. They've still got grab as well. Where's the Zarya? The Zarya's still coming. There's the grab on the payload. They do damage. They kill one. They kill two. Is he gonna die? No. Okay. So we are even now, right now. Problems. We lost Anana. They lost. Did they actually lose anyone? I know the Mora that early, but she got dressed, right? Oh yeah, they lost McCree. So we are even. We both teams lost one. But we don't have a healer, and they have both healers. So if they play slow, it's better for them. If they play slow, Zarya gets to build charge. Sigma gets to do damage. Hanzo and McCree will build their ults if he manages to come back. And you've got very low pressure. Because you lost a healer, not everyone in your team can get healed at the same time. Hanzo just contesting. You are going forward with very little HP. Why are you going forward here? Yeah. You've got the time to wait for someone. You get grabbed. We somehow survived the grab. I thought you were gonna die during this. You go for the Hanzo. You are forced to just... Honestly, 5-strike the Hanzo maybe. But at this point, you back out. Why are you going forward here? Play safe! Play here. Play with your corners. Why are you moving forward? Even the 5-strike was risky. If Hanzo gets a headshot on you, you are dead. And you've got a very big head. Why are you moving to the page? You've got 40 seconds. You basically just threw. You are throwing right now. You know that you're throwing. You, looking back at it, you've got to know that you're throwing. You play defensive, you play here, you wait for your team to come back. Maybe you've got a chance to win. Get your health back. Your shield was actually pretty good. Let your Rotho get healing. Then you get cold, then you get shattered, then you get this ult, and you may have a chance of winning. Instead, we are going to have to rush back for a very last second fight. And again, all of this... this is so bad. Yeah, daddy, show me. Oh my god. So, the only way we win now is we get a shadow. It's the only way you win. You are already one person down. You've got no co, which was probably your best shot at winning. And you've thrown all of your shatters away into the Zarya bubbles. Literally into the Zarya bubbles. You ignore the Sigma right behind you. Which is unfortunate. I thought the team was moving with you. They are just slightly behind. And where's the last one? Where are you? Oh, he's going for the... I didn't see him. He's going for the Hanzo. At the very least, you know what? We survived. You shattered into the Sigma shield, which is unfortunate. I'm not gonna say that's your fault, but it was obvious. Sigma is going back to his team. He's gonna shield. So we've got no value out of shatter. I've said there's... You got to play around the Sigma shield. You don't just wait and try to throw it at them. So now it's gonna be very difficult to win because Rotho is not using his ult, but Sigma just eats it. And he just dies. You get stunned and you die, and your team just loses. Yeah, your team just loses. And you were a very big part of why you lost this game. Several reasons. Like, your defense with Monkey was definitely good, but your Rein play is honestly not very good. Both on defense and on offense, you did basically the opposite of what you had to do. Instead of pressuring them on the offense so that they couldn't make free rotations, you were just like, I'm just gonna hold my shit here. If you want to flank us, if you want to take the high ground, feel free to, right? I'm not gonna stop you. Why would I? I'm just Reinhardt holding his choke. Not what you want to do. And on offense, you just kept dying to overextending. Play safe. And again, if you are on the offense, you do want to be like, you know what? I'm just gonna stand on the point on a safe position, so here or here, and I'm gonna pressure the point by just existing here, but also just by taking your attention and buying time for my DPS to rotate and set up, like the Hanzo was on this angle, on the Doomfist was on this angle. The too long don't read is you've got very little value and you lost your team a lot of fights that should have been won fights. Your Monkey was actually the. I'm surprised because Monkey's not that good on this point, and you still made some mistakes, but you played a lot better. Your mechanics were pretty good. The biggest mistake was usually dropping your bubble on the high ground, which is a big no-no. Don't drop your bubble on the high ground. But other than that, your Monkey play was actually pretty decent. It was your Rein play, it's just very unexperienced to say the least. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it there for today. My voice is already like kind of bad. But thank you for stopping by. As usual, I'll put these highlights on my channel now. So I'll see you guys probably on Tuesday because Monday, no stream Monday. Bye bye.